Yeah, all good. Can we make sure mobile phones are on silence, please? And be respectful to keep quiet and put your hand up if you want to request a question. We're going to give priority to the UK media first. We're going to start with Sonia from Press Association. Go ahead, Sonia.
Hi Ben, I know we spoke to you yesterday, but you hadn't had a look at the pitch yet. Have you decided on a team?
Yeah, we've got an 11 to name. Folkesy comes back in for Jimmy Anderson, and Rayan Ahmed's going to make his debut in place of Will Jacks.
And is there any problem with Jimmy at all?
No problem at all. We just feel sort of the decision was made more just after looking after him, to be honest. We've won the series 2-0, and sort of looking at what we've got coming up, we felt it was sort of a good decision and a good timing for us to be able to rest him and not risk anything going forward.
Any more from the UK? Dino, in the corner here.
Yeah, Ben, could you give us an idea as to why you decided to go with Rayan for this game?
I think it's a good opportunity for us to not only look at him, but also for him to come in and experience what it's like to play international cricket. We obviously brought him into the squad to try and get him amongst us and experience what it's like being in this group, and we've been very impressed with what we've seen. He's got a lot of skill with both bat and ball, so it's great to be able to bring someone with the talent and the excitement that he has into the squad and see what he's got this week.
18 is still a young age. What about him do you think that gives you the belief that he's got the maturity, the character, whatever it is that you need at test level to thrive?
Yeah, I think being at such a young age, it's great to see someone who has so much freedom in what they do. The way that he bats, he likes to get on with it and show what he's about, and almost not show off, but just show what he can do. He's got a vast array of shots, and then obviously having a wrist spinner is great to be able to have in your team, especially out in these conditions. And taking a look at the wicket as well, which looks very dry. I personally think it might spin a bit more than the last Test match, but I'm not the greatest at looking at wickets and going by that. So yeah. But no, it's exciting times for Rayan especially, and he's very excited when we gave him the nod that he's going to play last night.
From me, you're after a 3-0 whitewash. What would that mean to you if you were able to complete it?
To be honest, I've tried to take the focus away from that and just made a real emphasis on, before we trained this morning, about focusing on the process rather than the outcome. We want to win this Test match. It'd be great to leave here winning 3-0, but the big thing for my message to the group was concentrating on the process and not worrying too much about the outcome. So as long as we stick to that, I think we give ourselves the best opportunity. But if it doesn't go our way, it doesn't go our way. Yeah, he's fine. He was just a little bit under the weather. Medical team said, "Do you feel like you need to train?" He said, "No, not really." So rather than just taking any kind of risk of something getting passed on or making him feel worse, we just decided the best thing was to send him home, especially after he felt like he didn't need to train. So he's absolutely fine.
Okay, we'll go Cameron, Vish, and then Stefan, and then we'll take some questions from the Pakistan media. Go ahead.
Would you have played Ahmed at 1-0?
Would I have played Ahmed at 1-0? I think it would have been a good chance looking at this wicket, yeah.
Vish.
Ben, you're someone who debuted at a young age. What advice would you give to Rehan in terms of how to approach this game and, I suppose, taking it in?
When he bowls, look to take wickets. When he bats, look to score runs, and in the field, run after the ball hard.
Stefan?
I believe there was a six-sitting competition earlier, and the coach might still have it. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah. I guess from past experiences on away tours and coming to the end of them, certainly myself, it feels like you're sort of counting the days down until you get home. And I wanted to make sure that we didn't feel like that. And I think a big part of what we've done, especially out here, is that we've enjoyed every moment that we spent together. And I just wanted to continue that and just add in a bit of fun and stuff into the morning session. I thought it was good. Everyone everyone enjoyed it. But unfortunately, with me losing to Baz, I've now got to I've got to serve Brookie his dinner and his drinks and his pudding tonight, because the winner got the pleasure of being able to do that to the loser out of me and Baz. And yeah, so that was my forfeit, as I've got to serve Harry Brook dinner.
How far was Baz hitting it?
How far?
Yeah.
It was a bit. I felt it was more in favour of the right-handers, to be honest. I think the throw-in's got to be looked at from Paul Collingwood if he's going to be, looking at himself in the mirror tonight. But you got to look after the coach, haven't you?
Cheers, Stefan. We'll take the gentleman at the front, gentleman over here then, please, and then here. Go ahead.
Hello Ben. No team has ever whitewashed Pakistan at home. Are you targeting this achievement?
As I said before, I've just made sure the group was focusing on the process of how we play rather than concentrating too much on the result this week, because that's one thing we've sort of done really well at over a period of time since me and Baz have taken over, is concentrating on the process rather than the outcome and how we go and play. So obviously we want to win. It'd be great to leave here 3-0, but I think this week's an even putting more importance on the process in which we play.
Gentleman here, one here, and then we'll take one at the front and we're done.
Definitely Abrar Ahmed had a very great debut against England, and he took 11 wickets, and I especially remember your reaction on that wicket. The ball was spin. A lot of talk about his mystery spin, and I think of course England played in a whole test now. So do you think that he still remain the mystery for this coming test, and your thoughts about his threat for the last test? Thank you.
Yeah, look, as all of our batters have said, is that we're picking him, but there's a difference between picking him and then playing it off the wicket. One thing you've got to give him credit for is in the way in which he bowls, the accuracy which he had throughout the whole test match. I think he might have bowled a handful of bad deliveries, so to be able to have the control in which he had, especially with the variations he's got, was credit to him. But yeah, I felt as if all the batsmen were picking the deliveries that he was delivering to us, but that only gets you so far. You've still got to play the ball off the pitch, and he's got great control in what he does. So he obviously had a great test match last week, and he'll obviously prove a challenge for us again, but it's how we put the pressure back onto him, which I thought we did throughout the whole test match, even though he took a lot of wickets against us. So you got to give credit to him, especially with his control and with the way in which he bowls and the amount of different deliveries he's had. Pick him out the hand, great, but then you still got to play it off the pitch.
One here and then last one here.
Hi, I hope you are having good time. I'm here right here. Yes. Hope you are having good time in Karachi. In 2015 ICC World Cup, England lost to Bangladesh even. Then after that, the way Morgan led the team and just built up, and then you went to win 2019 World Cup. In Test cricket now, you have transformed in T20 style, what people are calling. So do you aim to inherit this culture for a long period of time, just the way Morgan did? And secondly, Azhar Ali retired today, so any memories or anything you want to share with him, though you didn't play much cricket against him?
I think looking back at when Owen overtook, I did take snippets of how he reinvented our team back in 2015, and obviously it's a different format, but I've got huge admiration in the way which Owen led the one-day team and the messages and how he spoke and how he was very clear about how he wanted things to change, which I've taken into this role. And in terms of, obviously at some point I won't be England captain anymore. Brendan won't be England coach anymore. So who knows what will happen once our time is up as being the leaders of this team. But certainly while me and Brendan are doing what we're doing, we'll be staying very clear in our messaging to the current crop of players and anyone who comes into the team after. But when it's someone else's turn, they might have a completely different approach. But I think it's just about, as a leader, it's about clarity and making players believe in what you say and allowing them to go out and express themselves in the way in which they want to. I haven't really played that much against Azhar. I think as well, one thing, him being able to play Test cricket in Pakistan, you know, obviously it was a great thing for him to look back on, especially it was at the latter end of his career. I know he played a lot of cricket in the UAE, so I think for him being able to go out in his home country in his last Test will be a great thing for him. He's been a great servant to Pakistan cricket, so I wish him all the best in his retirement.
Last question at the front.
Sukhi, there's been a lot of talk about baseball, and we have seen you earlier today morning hitting sixes. So is there got any plan for tomorrow going for the kill from the next match as well, because you have already won the series?
Yeah, I think, you know, trying to put something, you know, on this game outside of concentrating on the 3-0 opportunity we have. You know, if you look back to the first Test match, we found ourselves in positions where we're so far ahead that we sort of looked outside of what the game was and the opportunities that some people had to maybe put themselves into the record books as an individual. You know, so we might have an opportunity presented to us in this game where we try and do that as well. So, you know, sticking to the process of what we've done since we've been here is the main priority this week, and not worrying too much about leaving here 3-0, although we would love to, but we're not putting pressure on ourselves or as a team to be leaving here 3-0, because then you take your whole focus away from the process and the way in which you want to play.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. Cheers, mate. Just checking all the cameras are working at the back. All good. So we have Rehan Ahmed, 5-wicket haul on his debut. Fantastic. We're going to start with English media with Sonia, and then we will open it up to the Pakistan media. Sonia from PA, go ahead.
Hi, Rehan. Congratulations on becoming youngest ever men's Test cricketer to take 5 wickets on debut. How did you feel going off with a match ball in your hand?
Best feeling. I'd never really saw it in my debut, but yeah, very grateful for it.
And how did you feel when you were bowling? Did you feel like you were in a really good rhythm?
I just tried to enjoy it as much as I could. I mean, my accuracy was still a bit off, but I just tried to enjoy it as much as I could.
And you said when we spoke to you last time it was sort of the happiest day of your life. How does it compare after this one?
This is probably the happiest day of my life. But yeah, very grateful.
Okay, we'll go Nick Holt behind, please, from the Telegraph, and then Dean Wilson.
Ben kept you out of the attack for quite a long time. What was going through your mind? Were you being a bit nervous when you came on after that long wait?
No, not really. I think obviously Stokesy we were trying, obviously the ball was reverse swinging, so it gives him as a try, but no, I enjoyed it, I loved it so much.
And what were you feeling when you took that 5th wicket? We saw your dad, who was in front of us, and he looked pretty emotional. How did you feel at that moment?
I still don't think it's sunk in yet, but yeah, I was very, very grateful.
Dean, go ahead.
Well, are you the sort of bowler who is particularly bothered how you take your wickets? The first one that got Babar, maybe not one of the special ones?
I mean, I bowl better balls and not get wickets, so to get a wicket, it's a wicket, so it's not any less, especially when it's Babar.
And did you feel as though you can kind of build pressure that often makes batsmen do things that they otherwise might not want to do?
Yeah, I mean, that happens with everyone, but I mean, I think that was God sent. So,
5 wickets on debut. Obviously, the first class game you played, you took 5 wickets. So, do you kind of feel like you're in consistent form in this form of the game?
Yeah, if you look at it that way, we didn't really think of it that way, but yeah, it's great.
Okay, we'll go Vish, Cameron, and we'll take a couple from the Pakistan media. Vish, go ahead, please.
Rahul, can you talk to us about what you were told before you went out to bat as well? You'd only just walked off, 10 minutes before one. You're also now officially the first Nighthawk as well.
I was told to finish it today. I think, yeah, but just enjoy it. And we probably would have if we had the last 7 overs. So.
McCullum said in the past that he's told players to go out and, just think of Stuart Wood mentioned that go out and hit your first ball for 6 was the instructions that he had from McCullum before. Did McCullum say something like that to you?
No, not really. I think I said it to myself, if anything. I was like, I'm going again if I get it there.
Okay, congrats.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll take some questions from the Pakistan media, this gentleman.
This is about from Express News Coaches. Rehan, definitely you did a good job in your debut. I would like to ask, how did you see the wicket? Thank you very much.
It was a very slow wicket, so I think the wickets come from batters being impatient and fewer placings and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it was a very slow spinning wicket.
Rehan, tell us something about the plan, because we saw openers firing up from the very start. Then you came up in the batting, and you also came with a 4. So what was the plan? Was the plan to chase it down today?
Yeah, but I think that's the way we play normally anyway, even if it wasn't today. So yeah.
Okay, we're done. Thank you. Congratulations, Rehan. Good work.
Thanks so much.